Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever this video finds you, welcome to Raw Dogs Radio. So, let's talk about these Browns. Like, seriously, let's seriously talk about these Browns. This is where the responsibility lies. Right here. Right here, Andrew Berry. And I understand, Andrew. I'm probably one of the few people that are on your side, and you need to understand why people are pissed off with you. But more so at Kevin Stefanski and some of the people on the offensive coaching staff just as much now as they are with Deshaun Watson. So I see the disconnect. But understand, you should have imposed your will. You should have imposed your will on Kevin Stefanski 2 years ago. Actually, when Deshaun Watson was here, when he first got here after his 11th game suspension. Because once Watson got back, his first 5 games that he played, Stefanski was heaven sent, or shall I say hell bent, on trying to throw the football from 3 and 5 wide formations. And it's like, why? That's not Deshaun Watson's strong suit. I understand that's the offense that he ran in Clemson, but you cannot run that offense here with him because he's not at Clemson. You're not playing against college kids out there. These are grown men. This is why when they say, hey, he's getting sacked because he's holding the ball too long. And it's like, yeah, because he's running an offense that's not tailor-made for his skill set. I'll get on Watson in a minute. I'll talk about that in a minute. But right now I'm talking Berry. But do understand, Berry, you're kind of pissing us off because you're supposed to be the man in charge. Tell your coach, hey, look, the offense that you're not running, Monday morning, come here, Kevin, come here, shut the door. And you bring in, you bring them in, shut the door. You like some tea? You want a scone? Got some scrambled eggs? I've got some, bacon here. You hungry? Let's get something to eat. Let's make a plate. Let's sit down and have a real discussion here as far as how we're moving forward. And just tell them, look, Nick Chubb is healthy. And we need to run the ball. I don't care. Foreman seems to be able to handle a power load. Ford can catch out of the backfield, switch him up. But when Chubb gets back, no more 5 wide. I'm going to get you a power tight end. You're going to have 3 tight ends. You're going to run the ball. I'm not paying David Njoku to just sit there and run these little goofy pass routes. I brought Jerry Jeudy in here to take off the double team on Amari Cooper. Like, Jesus, what happened? You used to have the offensive lineman in the backfield with Hunt. That was the Cleveland special. Watching that big offensive guard / center in the backfield ready to run block while on the move like a cobra ready to strike. Are you kidding me? You had a staple to the offense. Run a conservative offense. Let the defense do what the defense does. You're out here 3-and-outing. People are talking about making restaurants called 3rd and long. It's pathetic. But see, Barry, this is where, this is on you. This is the gripe that we have with you. You knew that Hunt was on his last legs. We could see that. We see why you guys released him and why nobody picked him up. I mean, the kid was gone. He was done. He had nothing. Anything past the yard, you were lucky. You were lucky. That's why Stefanski put the kid back there playing fullback. Right here, let's at least try to get 3 out of this. Maybe he'll surprise us and get 5 to 7. Maybe he'll break some tackles and go for 23. Be a highlight run. He had nothing in the tank. So with the Titans releasing Derrick Henry, in all honesty, you should have traded for him. When he was on the trade block, you should have traded for him. You probably could have got a 6th-round pick. Maybe 2 7s. I mean, you could have traded for him. They were having a fire sale. Have him come in half a season, give him some carries. He might surprise you. I mean, look at what he's doing with the Ravens. Are you kidding me? I am not looking forward to that game. Not as a Browns fan. You should have signed Derrick Henry. And you also should have traded for Justin Fields as a backup to Deshaun Watson. I mean, the Steelers got him for a 6th-round pick. That could have been us. We could have had Derrick Henry and Justin Fields on the team. So that way you knew you had at least a capable backup that people would trust if you put him in, because we knew that the Bears had no offensive weapons for him. No running game, no passing game, no offensive line. Just Kyle Kmet. I mean, they played us. Remember last year? They almost beat us. The kid almost beat us. If Kyle Kmet makes that catch, the Bears beat us at home. He played an amazing game against our stifling defense at home. We beat the Super Bowl champion Niners with that defense. To this day, Brock Purdy has never had a more horrendous quarterback rating at 45% in his career. Do you understand? That kid almost beat us with no weapons. Imagine what he would do with Amari Cooper. Well, that is if Cooper can catch the ball. But I digress. Barry, you could have got a backup for, especially with Chubb being out, you would have had a different type of Nick Chubb. You wouldn't have had the speed, but you definitely would have had the raw power of a veteran running back who won't fumble the ball, who knows how to read a hole. Matter of fact, if the hole isn't big enough, he'll make a hole. He'll get at least 3 or 4 yards on the push alone. 5 by the time they hit the ground. You got one of the best running guards in the NFL in Wyatt Teller, and you didn't think to give him some help, the team some help with a power running back on the cheap, by the way. $10 million on the cheap. He'd have been the perfect security blanket, insurance policy, just in case Chubb wouldn't have came back 100. We still don't even know if he can play. He's at practice, but we don't know if he can play. We know he's not afraid to take a hit, we hope. Strong as a bull. But in college, they saw him recover from this injury. But now here he is, years worn off of his life, playing running back in the NFL. He's not a young guy anymore. He's not a young bull anymore. He's middle-aged for a running back. Hopes and prayers. Seriously. Yeah, you didn't give him an insurance policy. And this whole situation with the offensive line, why did you give Jack Conklin that contract and then you guaranteed it? Are you nuts? And what is it with you and these guaranteed contracts and this habit of overpaying? Hell, if that was the case, we could have kept the last GM whose name escapes me. The one that wore the sweaters with the glasses. I forget his name, but I remember what he looks like. He looked like Marty Schottenheimer's brother. His contained brother. But he ruined the plan. He ruined the plan. Because he wanted control of the coach. He wanted control of the coach. That's why he picked Football Jesse to be the head coach and figured that, anybody could coach this team. Wrong. Put Baker in 5 wide. Dude, again, this is the NFL. That guy looked like Bernie Kosar out there running 5 wide with today's ferocious pass rushers. It's like going up against Reggie White almost every other play. Okay, maybe Simmons. At any rate, yeah. Especially in our division. Are you kidding me? We are a power football division. Leave the showboating aerial antics to the Bengals. There's a reason why we always sweep them. Because they like to throw the football, and we're very, very, very good. Because of Myles Garrett and JOK causing pressures, helping other people get through and get sacks and break up passes and have the quarterback running for his life alongside Myles Garrett. The AFC North is full of dual pass rushing threats. You did nothing to help the linebacker core. The linebacking core is outside of JOK is trash. That's your fault. In fact, look, we'll take a look. All right, so you got JOK and then Devin Bush. He's backed up by Winston Reed. Who is that? Jordan Hicks. Come on, seriously. He's backed up by Khaleke Hudson and Nathaniel Watson. And, that's it. That's it. because we're playing a 4-2-5 defense. The only issue is that Emerson and Newsome are trash without Denzel Ward out there. Without Denzel Ward, these two guys do not look good, because most teams have just one good wide receiver. Now the Bengals have three. But our pass rush neutralizes their second and third wide receivers. No matter how fast their quarterback makes the read, our pass rush is on him by the time he gets to his second read. And matter of fact, we've already cut off the second read, because normally Ward has man-to-man coverage. Doesn't matter which wide receiver he's on, although he's on what I call Jerry Rice Jr. Like, trust me, that kid, he reminds me of Jerry Rice. He's normally on him. So the scheme takes away the number two, and by the time he gets to the three, the pass rush is already on him. He's already being sacked by the time he gets to his third option. That's how the Browns disrupt the Bengals passing scheme. And then they can't really run the ball from the shotgun set, because our linebackers are, pretty much JOK pretty much wrecks your running game. He destroys your running game. He blows up your running game. If the defensive line doesn't wrap him up, the defensive tackles, okay, or maybe Zadarius Smith, whose pass rushing days died on the Minnesota Vikings turf. Yeah, you're not going to be able to run the ball. That's why we're at depending on where we are with the game, we're pretty good against the run. I mean, Saquon Barkley, as much as they say, oh, he's now a phenom in Philly, if you actually watch the Eagles play, it's not like he's averaging 5 yards a carry, because every other time he gets a carry, he's getting 5 to 10 to 15 yards. No, it's because it's like the Barry Sanders syndrome, where you're waiting on him to break one. Meanwhile, he's getting tackled in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage, or maybe he's getting 3 yards. It's like, he's going to break one. It's just a matter of when. And then when he does, it's just like he did in college. So he'll break one, 62-yard run, 37-yard run, things like that. So that boosts his average. He couldn't do that against us. He didn't get any breakaway runs like that. Well, wait, yes, he did. Yeah, the breakaway run, right? But it didn't. But that accounted for most of his rushing yards for the day. Other than that, he was just getting stopped at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. So his averaged out. And it was terrible. I think he had 46 yards or something like that on 14 carries. That's terrible. But anyway, you didn't do anything to shore up this middle linebacking spot, because, Hicks and Hudson, and I saw Devin Bush. Let me explain something to you. I saw Devin Bush let the quarterback run right by him. Did y'all see that play in the game against the Eagles today? Did you see that play where it was like a 3rd and 2? So Devin Bush had the outside, and the quarterback had the option between himself and the running back. And Devin Bush kind of stood there, and the quarterback turned upfield towards him, and Devin Bush let the guy pretty much he ran by him before he got involved in chasing down in the play. I'm like, and by then he had the first down, and I'm like, Devin, what are you doing out there? You're sleepwalking. Hit the quarterback. I don't care if he pitches it. Knock his goddamn block off. This is your chance. He's a runner. You guys dream of this situation. I'm going to treat the quarterback like a running back. That was your chance. What the hell are you doing? Were you imagining doing that in your head? To hell with the running back. Let the corner handle the running back. You seal the inside. It's no different than the offensive line. They block from the inside out. You, as a defender, you attack from the inside out. What are you doing? Attack inside. Knock the quarterback on his ass. Any rate. What's up, Snowman? What are you doing? It's so I pin this on you. Not the defensive play. I would actually Jim Schwartz, that's on you for not teaching these guys to be aggressive. The defense is playing very, very soft this year. Last year, the reason why you were number one in defense or in the top 3 was because you guys were very aggressive. This year, you're not aggressive. And to be honest, it's almost as if the blitz play that got Grant Delpit hurt last year where he pulled his groin. It's almost like ever since then you've called a softer defense. Like, dude, it's football. These guys are gonna get hurt. Let them go out there and get hurt. You know, rough and tumble. Injuries happen. I know the backups scare you, but you got to do that. But also, Andrew, getting back to you, you should have shored up the tackle spots. And you 100% need to find a replacement at left guard because Joe Bitonio is past his prime. That dude is on his last legs. I wouldn't be surprised if he got injured this year, like maybe like November, December, and be gone for the season. Like that seems to be his pattern because his body is breaking down. He can't do this anymore. You need to find his replacement stat. You need to find this replacement stat. I mean, it doesn't matter. Let them battle it out in camp. You got to do what's best for this team. I don't know what the hell you're going to do at right tackle. You're probably going to have to eat that money. Unless you switch Jones. Unless you trade Jedrick Wills around the trade deadline. You trade him. You trade Greg Newsome. You trade Thornhill if possible. And let's see here. Sign another tight end. I mean, maybe you see what's out there. You know, maybe you see what's out there for Myles Garrett. You understand? Maybe because they see that you're having a fire sale, they'll inquire, like, "Wow, like you giving away for this?" Like, "Yeah, like hell, what would you give me for Miles Garrett?" Like, "Well, make me an offer," in a joking manner. Like, "Well, hell, I'll give you, you know, two firsts and a second and a fourth." Like, "Oh, really?" You get to start, just shooting the shit amongst GMs, and then you start, hearing guys jokingly ask you about entertaining offers from Miles Garrett under the guise of trading for other players. Do you do that to Miles Garrett? It depends on what Miles Garrett thinks. Because in all honesty, I would ask Miles. I'd be like, "Miles, look, man, people are calling and asking us about you, and we would rather you finish your career as a Brown. But in the spirit of honesty, I just wanted to let you know that, I don't want it to get out in the press. I wanted you to hear from me as the GM. I just wanted to let you know that teams are asking about you. And I know there's grumblings. Here we are. We're pretty much rebuilding. Let's be honest. You know, I we got to make some business decisions around here. Amari Cooper's on the trade block. You gotta get rid of him. You gotta get rid of him because you have to justify how you wasted all of that money on Jerry Judy. Guarantee again, another overpriced guaranteed contract for a guy who hasn't proven anything in the NFL, who has a reputation for dropping passes and then having a hissy fit with Steve Smith on the sideline, pregame interview warm-ups. Talking about some, "I don't mess with you." And Steve Smith warned us. He warned us. He warned us. This guy's not known for his speed. He's known for his drops. He's $1 million bust. Denver was happy to get rid of him. That's why they drafted Franklin. Yo, he's the security blanket for their quarterback, their rookie quarterback. That was very, very smart. Like, hey, yeah, this kid that played with you in college, yeah, you depend on him, right? Like, yeah, like that's my guy. That's my go-to guy. Cool. And they drafted him. I think he's got his first NFL touchdown. He should have had one before, but he dropped it. He was wide open. It would have been Denver's biggest offensive play all year, but he dropped it. But, you know, coach kept him in the game. Called his first NFL touchdown today. Fighting back. Denver was trying to come back against San Diego. It was a big catch for him. Any rate, you develop your players. You can start over with young guys and win. All you gotta do is play hellified defense. Denver's biggest problem is that they don't have a power back. If they had a Nick Chubb, trust me, they would be running the football. They'd be running the shit out of the football. Excuse my language. That's what we need to do. We should have never got away from it. It should have never been a 3 to 5 wide offense. Your tight end shouldn't be running wide receiver routes 3 times, in the opening drive, like on first down. Like, no, not even first down. Yeah, first down, first, second, and now third down. Or first and second down. Like, what, first and third? What is this? Run the football. Assert your will. Should have stuck to that offensive game plan. Barry, I put that on you. Should have put your foot down with your head coach. You know the changes that you need to make on this team. They're not hard. Getting rid of Newsome sends a message to the locker room that, poor play will not be tolerated. You will play your way right up out of here. You will play your way right up out of here. I wouldn't be surprised if you just flat out cutting. And then actually told your head coach, hey, sit Deshaun Watson down. That would be the gutsiest move that you would do if you cut Newsome and then told your head coach, sit Watson down and simplify the offense. This is not a 5-wide offense. It's not built for that. This is a power running offense that you turned into a 5-wide. You wanted Jerry Jeudy. I got you, Jerry Jeudy. Overpaid him, but I got you. You thought he'd be perfect. Well, he's not. He's out there dropping touchdowns. Drop. Bad route. But you wanted them, Stefanski. You wanted them. Well, there you go. I mean, Jesus Christ. I gave you Elijah Moore, and you tried to turn him into what? Another Ted Ginn Jr.? Another, what, the guy out San Francisco, Samuels? Is that what you thought he was? Little wide receiver / running back? No, dude. This guy's a slot receiver. He's not a number 2. He's not that type. He's not even fast. He's just quick. He gets open. He gets lost out there. They lose track of him because he's so small. He's the unassuming guy that helped Michael Jordan win championships late in the fourth quarter. Where Jordan would go to the basket, he'd dish it out, and the unassuming white guy would bust a 2 or bust a 3. Wide open. Paxson. Yeah, Paxson. That's the whole reason we even know Paxson exists. It was him and another guy. Bill Paxson. That's how we know these guys' names. Fourth quarter of championships, Jordan sucks him into the basket. He dishes it out to Paxson, and Paxson just standing there all by himself, like he's, in practice, busting 2s and 3s, increasing that fourth quarter lead, putting the pressure on more and more and more. That's Elijah Moore. Let's be honest. He thrived in getting lost in coverage. But oh my God, you misused him. I went out and got you the kid from Tennessee who's supposed to be good at making tough catches, and he is. Good Lord. Cedric Tillman. I want to make sure I get the names right. Cedric Tillman is not a burner, but you're running five wides. You're running five wides with Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Jamari Thrash, Cedric Tillman. These guys are not five wide guys. Not a one. Maybe Elijah Moore, because that's how he gets lost. You know? A lot of teams they feel that he's not a threat like that, but he is when he's running wide receiver routes from the slot. Let's just be honest. I give him his credit, but not Jeudy and not Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is he's a hoofer. You know what I'm saying? He's a hoofer. He's good on deep routes because he just outruns the guy. He gets a step. Once he goes deep, it's a jump ball because he's not fast. But once he gets in front of the receiver, you place the ball outside of the defender's hands. Oh, he gonna make that catch. It's those slant routes and whatnot. That's not really his forte. That's where his drops come from. He's not really good at those routes. Yeah, he's good up close for those slant routes. The slant and the deep ball and the hook. And the up and out. Those are his routes. Post patterns, not his thing. Supposed to be Jerry Jeudy's thing, but you know, hands. This team is a power football team. Play action pass, go deep is Amari Cooper. Jerry Jeudy, is the guy you get really to run those curls and slants because of his speed. Maybe a post to draw the safety. You run a post and a deep route to Amari Cooper to bait the single high safety. Whichever way he's leaning, you go the other way with the ball. But more often than not, unless you can throw Jerry Jeudy open, as in don't throw him a hospital ball where you throw it straight where the safety is going. You instead of throwing it straight like that, you throw it like that. It curve it more so to where you throw it high and long enough to where his slant route, he can adjust, he can track the ball and boom, and then he should go. That's throwing the guy open. That's what Jerry Jeudy, that's supposed to be his route. And Elijah Moore is the underneath move the chains guy. 3rd and 8. Oh, he's wide open. He's got 6 and he fights, spins, shakes the guy. He's wide open. He's got 12. Makes the catch, maybe does a juke move, lays down, 1st down. He's a chain mover. Cedric Tillman, I don't know what to make of him as a wide receiver, except, he is a good slot guy, like over the middle guy. Not even really slot, but a guy that you need to go in between the linebackers to be able to make a catch and take a hit. You don't send Elijah Moore on those over the middle routes like that. You send Cedric Tillman or Jamari Thrash. Push come to shove, then is James Prochet. But yeah, Cedric Tillman is your over the middle guy, where Elijah Moore is more so out, out towards the numbers guy, the underneath guy. Maybe he can squirt between two linebackers or something like that, but mainly it's Cedric Tillman. I mean, that's what your offense is built for. Your offensive linemen are run block guys. Ethan Posick, who's this? Zach Zinter. Who are these guys? Jack Conklin, supposedly. And David Njoku and Jordan Atkins. Jordan Atkins is not a pass catching tight end like that can spell David Njoku. We know this. I mean, he was wide open. Deshaun Watson refused to throw him the damn ball. He was dead set on running that ball. He didn't trust him to catch the ball. That's why he didn't throw it to him. He couldn't trust him. These are run blocking tight ends. It's just that this one is sensational. Running tight end routes. Tight end routes, especially in the end zone. Because he can out jump everybody. Like, what are you doing? He's great for underneath. He run right over a corner. We see that all the time. He be hurdling them, stiff arming them, picking up 26 yards. Hell, what was it, a 14-yard run? No, something like against the Bears. I think it was like 3rd and 9. And Flacco dumped it to him. He was well short, but he cut it upfield. He stiff armed one guy, hurdled another, spun out of a tackle, got way past the first down before they knocked him out of bounds. That's David Njoku's specialty, those tight end routes from the power run style of offense. There's a linebacker and a safety, and the corner can't cover him. And see, this is where we move into Kevin Stefanski. I mean, I'm just telling you the personnel that we have here. I mean, all right, so let's get into Deshaun Watson as a player. Let's get into him as a player. Hold on. Bring up his freaking mug. Let's get into this guy. I know I spelled his name wrong. I don't care. No, whoops. What am I doing? Anyway, thank you. Let's get into this guy. In all honesty, as much as I want to rip into this guy, I want you to understand that he is not playing to his skill set. Do you understand? This is Kevin Stefanski's fault. This is Kevin Stefanski's fault. As much as you want to blame Deshaun Watson for the struggles of this offense, this is Kevin Stefanski's fault. That he's not performing up to his skill set. Because Kevin Stefanski is trying to run the Bengals offense, this 5 wide stuff. What are you doing? You're hurt at the tackle positions. You have the best run blocking guard, center, combo, and right tackle, because Dawand Jones proved he can run block. When you get him focused on one particular mission, he'll knock it out if you give him a steady rhythm. You're doing too much with all of this 5 wide. He's not that type of right tackle. He's not a 50, 60 snap a game right tackle. and neither is Jedrick Wills. Bitonio is known for as a run blocking guard. Posick is a run blocking center. As is James Hudson, his backup. These are run blocking guys, not pass blockers. This team was built to run the offense you had been running since you got here. From 12 personnel. Remember when you first got here, and once Baker got comfortable with the offense, we rattled off 11 wins that year. Even COVID couldn't stop us. We beat the Steelers in the playoffs. From 12 personnel. The whole reason why Baker isn't here anymore was because you were trying to run the spread offense with him, and it almost got him killed. He was playing so hard for a contract that he held out until, and trust me, when you look at it for what it really was, as much crap we gave Baker, and we understand it was his personality that got him up out of here, because he was more so worried about his contract that year than he was about doing what was best for the team. And what was best for the team was for him to sit down and let that shoulder injury heal. All right. They already did your 5th year option. Just sit back and let it heal. Come back late in the season, string together a few good games, build some hope for the future. Give yourself a break, some time away from the team, a time away from football, and just kind of enjoy your life, man. Enjoy your life. Yeah, you come on out on the weekends, come be with the guys. We get it. You're coming in for training and everything, but sometimes you got to understand that your health is more important than football and money. But instead, y'all let him run the show, and it almost got him killed and ran out of town. People villainized the kid. Let's just be honest. I mean, true enough, what happened to him when he went to the Panthers. And I mean, good Lord, if he would have took nothing from that season, just like we did, was at least we beat Baker. We beat Baker with a field goal, a dramatic 58-yarder. I mean, good Lord, we hadn't won an opener in forever. And this was against Baker. We were killing them, and he came back, took the lead, down to our rookie kicker. When he kicked it, it looked like he was going to miss it wide right, and it swung in. Boom, game, 58-yarder. It was the highlight of the season. But it was a humbling experience for Baker. After that, he played like crap. Even though the Panthers had all the talent, played like crap. Team had lost faith in the coach. The owner, I mean, we see how bad he is now. David Tepper, we see how terrible he is. Yeah, Baker was up under that. Then he got released, got picked up by the Rams. I mean, the Raiders being the Raiders, kind of gave him some life there that he could still play this game. 98-yard game-winning drive and whatnot. I mean, come on. on what was it? Thursday night football, Sunday night, Saturday night. It was a nighttime football game. It was a primetime game. And we were all tuned in watching to see what he was gonna do. And the Raiders raided it up. Yeah, I bet he thought that the Rams were probably going to keep him, hoping that they would keep him, seeing that he could still play the game. But the best thing they could do for him was to let him go, because I mean, that guy is not going to retire. You know what I'm saying? He won a Super Bowl. He really think he can win another one. You really can't. So, I mean, I guess you're just out there playing for the love of the game. And if that's it, then that's fine. At least you're a serviceable quarterback. Both of us got what we wanted out of the trade. They got pretty much a more polished version of you, whereas you helped us get to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. So as long as you're not out there throwing 50 interceptions, you go right ahead. You play for as long as you want to. So Baker was the X man out. And he wound up in Tampa Bay. And he got them to the playoffs. And they almost beat the Lions. That was a damn good game. And then they came back this year and whooped their tails. Matter of fact, he's starting on my fantasy football team, because I wasn't able to draft a quarterback, but I was able to pick him up in free agency. Because once Mike Evans decided to stay and he showed that he could still play, yeah, I picked him up. I said, okay, damn, he had a good opener. Let me grab him while he's still a free agent. So now he's starting. And he, 4 touchdowns? Was it 3? No, it was 4 touchdowns today. Plus rushing yards. Oh, he went above and beyond his projected points. I appreciate that. Thank you, Baker Mayfield. Oh my God. You getting out of Cleveland was, in all honesty, the best thing that could have happened to you. Just as it was with Odell, who has a Super Bowl ring and was pretty much going to be a huge factor in the Rams winning that game before he got hurt. You could clearly see that he was looking to have MVP numbers, or at least MVP awards, because he was the one that was moving the chains against the Bengals defense. He's not an outside receiver anymore. He's a slot guy. And I think he's down there in the Ravens. But they rarely use him, but that's a whole different thing. At any rate, getting back to Watson. Baker is a 2 to 3 wide receiver guy. All right. Give me 2 wide receivers, a tight end, pass catching running back. 3 wide, I can work 3. 4 is fine as long as we keep the route simple. He's just out there just having fun. Bounce back career. In all honesty, he should have won Comeback Player of the Year. But whatever. Watson, we already know what he's good at. We know he's not good in a spread offense. The offense that he ran in Texas was not a spread offense. At the most, it was a 3 wide. You got to update your offense. It was a 3 wide offense. He was able to succeed in the 3 wide offense with really just Andre Johnson. Okay. I mean, name another offensive player on that team besides him and Andre Johnson. But after that, it was Hopkins. who's now in Tennessee, who they were toying with bringing here, and they should have, because Watson was familiar with him. You should have brought him here. He was going for dirt cheap. He was going for dirt cheap. I blame that on both Barry and Stefanski for not getting this guy, somebody who he had a lot of success with down there in Houston when it was just the two of them on the offense. He didn't have a running game. He was the running game. He didn't have a Nick Chubb. He didn't have a David Njoku. Now he's got Amari Cooper, the plotter. But you got Hopkins to be the number 2. He's going up against the lesser DB. You get him one-on-one coverage, he's going to make that catch. Especially if you'd have been running a conventional 3-wide offense at the most. Trust me, that offensive line will get Nick Chubb at least 3 yards before he's touched. If you concentrate on running the football, power running from the 3 wide, let those guys get into a groove. Yeah, trust me, the holes will come. The holes will come. The yardage will come. You saw that against the Ravens. They were so tired. I mean, it was that scrum with little Elijah Moore kicking his feet, trying to help push from the back. Browns getting yardage. Yeah, that's what you're built to do. Your offense is built to do that, especially your line. They're built to do that, to move the chains on the ground. Deshaun Watson works perfectly from a 3-wide offense. This 4 and 5 wide, these empty sets, no. 3 and less, because you have to understand, if you're really paying attention to what Deshaun Watson's skill set is, he is a one-read quarterback. He's always been a one-read quarterback. That's why you don't know of the second wide receiver on the Texans roster. You don't even know the tight end's name back when he was there. But you know what number 1 wide receiver he played with. Hopkins can still play. We saw that when he had that breakout game in Tennessee. They was like, well, shoot, like just go deep to Deshaun Watkins. I mean, go deep to Hopkins. I'm reading Deshaun Watson's name. Sorry. Yeah. We got him in the slot. Oh my God. No linebacker or safety can cover that guy one-on-one like that. He should have been a Brown, not Elijah Moore. Not Elijah Moore. Not that I don't appreciate what he does, but Hopkins would have been better in the slot for this team, if not at the number 2 wide receiver. Use Cedric Tillman as an outside decoy. Put Hopkins in the slot. Use Elijah Moore as an outlet. I mean, it's a simple offense. Simple offense. Simple offensive strategy. But at any rate, Watson Watson is a one read quarterback. If he goes to his second read, he has to have time to be able to get to it, which is usually in the way the Browns offense is structured. It's structured where you read it from the outside in. Okay. Based on how whoever's going deep, Cooper's going deep. If the safety at pre-snap or post-snap looks like he's going to cover it, that he might beat the throw. Now you got to read the secondary guy, the second wide receiver, second target. You got to read to see if that guy is broken up, open underneath or on the crossing route. Or maybe you're both running goes, whatever. You got to see if he's broken open or if he's about to come open. If not, now you have your third receiver, which is your dump off guy, which is usually like a tight end or a running back or fullback. Usually it's not another wide receiver, but because sometimes those guys, they run dummy routes. Depends on who it is. I mean, you're all running dummy routes if they're covered. So whoever dummy route isn't covered, which is usually probably your third option, that's where you go. You got to process that within, I would say, maybe about 3 to 5 seconds after the snap. If the first read isn't open, Deshaun gets jittery because now he has to go to his secondary target, which he's not really good at. Simply by the wide receivers that he played with in Houston's numbers. He's not really good at going to his second wide receiver, his second target. Be it a tight end, a wide receiver, a running back, whatever. He gets jittery. Because do understand that the Texans, they had a horrible offensive line. I mean, just terrible. That's how this whole massage thing came about, was the brutal beating he was taking there. I'm not going to cover that. But I will say this. Were there crimes committed? Yes. Were there crimes committed the way that they're trying to portray it? Well, they left it ambiguous. But in all honesty, if they were to have arrested Watson for the massages, they would have had to have arrested the massage therapist as well. I mean, you're talking about 7? Those are not essays. Do you understand? I mean, come on, fellas, we know what that is. We know what that is. And the girl was trying to tell him, hey, your name is getting out there. You might want to slow down. Like, because he was we're at 67 in like a year and a half. Like, Jesus Christ, bruh, you have an addiction. Like, you just running through these girls. You answering every DM. And you paying good too. You Deshaun Watson, you are money, baby. Like, you too hot out here in the streets. You do understand that the guy, your bodyguard that works for the team, you do understand he reports your dealings to the GM and the owner, right? Like, every week they get a report on your activities from me. You were doing way too much. So yeah, trust me, when you was talking all that, you want to do this and you want to do that, they was like, man, sit, well massaged ass down somewhere. Tell us how to run this organization. Oh, they were more than happy to dump him off on the Browns. Trust me. And they wanted a king's ransom when, in all honesty, you should have Like I said, if Baker just would have sat down, we wouldn't even been talking about no damn Deshaun Watson right now. He would still be here. And Stefanski would not be trying to run this five wide shit. Hopefully. But yeah, do understand that was an underground connected service. Do you understand? That's what that was. You may have had four who legitimately said, you know what? No, thank you. Because do understand, just because you showed up and wanted to make the money, don't mean that you were comfortable with him. Because I mean, do understand at this point, these chicks already knew what it was. He already knew what it was. And he just, based on the accusations of this last one, I mean, if based on the pattern, this was one of those massage dates. I mean, why in the hell else would you, supposed to be, flowers and dinner by candlelight, you know, show up mad because you can't find the place. You show up, you strip naked, jump on the bed, face down, and say, massage my glutes. You know what I'm saying? What the hell? Ain't nobody force you to massage their glutes. Like, especially you. This is supposed to be, I mean, just saying, based on cultural norms, if this was a black chick, ain't no way in hell. I can see if you're dealing with somebody that didn't grow up, around black culture, especially when you're dealing with somebody who, you know, getting right down to business. No, hey, would you like a drink? Would you like to talk? She probably, like she said, she was talking while putting on her makeup because she wants to look pretty. You know, he wasn't saying nothing, so she came out. He butt naked down, playing face down on the bed. Someone's gonna start with his glutes. Like Jesus Christ, bruh. Even if you are a working girl, that would unnerve you. And if we were to go by what she said, it was probably because, you know, like, dude, you're very aggressive and rough. I mean, do you see how big you are? I mean, I'm a little thing. I'm a little female. Like Jesus Christ. You're making the gifts of the Hulk and Black Widow come true. Like, what are you doing? Like, the hell up off me. Jesus Christ. No foreplay? I mean, what is this? Yeah, he needed intense therapy. You understand? The habit had taken over him. 67 chicks in a year and a half. The habit had taken over him. He needed intense psychotherapy. I'm not making excuses for this guy. Are you kidding me? But he's a one read quarterback. He's a one read quarterback. Allegedly, by the way, about the whole massage thing. Allegedly. Allegedly. I mean, I was there at the invention of Instagram, and then back pages being shut down. You know, first they shut down Craigslist, then they shut down Backpage, and then suddenly, you know, there's Cash Apps in the DMs. I mean, Cash Apps on the bio. Cash Apps on the bio. Talking about some modeling. Modeling what? Yeah, yourself. You're selling yourself. All these selfies, and suddenly now you're taking all of these trips. To the usual places like Dubai. You know, maybe LA, maybe Hawaii. Talking about some modeling. Yeah, you were modeling. Okay, you're modeling. All right. Taking some pictures at a beach or something on a yacht or something. Come on, things you can't afford because you live in like maybe a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment in Tuscaloosa. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! They're making money, girl. Do what you do. That's what's on Instagram and Twitter and Threads and Facebook. If these girls ever took screenshots of their DMs, it would be crazy. And that's what was on his phone. I know I need to get back to the football side of it. Oh my God, I said I wouldn't talk about this. But that's what the evidence was on his phone, in all of his DMs and whatnot, in text messages with these girls was, show every sign that this is what the agreed upon thing would be. At any rate, one Reed quarterback who's now being forced to run a 5 wide constantly on a team whose personnel is not built for that, and he's been doing it ever since he started in Cleveland. The biggest pissed off of festivity game that he's ever played was that Saints game, and it wasn't his fault. Y'all know the one in the snow where the Saints ran all over us, and we're out here throwing passes. And we got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, who was still able to run strong. Us having one of the best running games in the league, top 5. Why is Deshaun Watson jumping back, throwing passes in a snow game? That's pathetic. That's not his skill set. Sure, Njoku catches the ball, we win the game. But you would have blown him out. You wouldn't have been in that position if you would have said, you know what? Today is Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt day. Today, I want you guys to earn your game balls. Do you understand me? This is Cleveland football weather. This is exactly why you're here. This is why we drafted you, and this is why we signed you for this type of game. Now let's go out there and earn our paychecks and set our reputations in stone, shall we, fellas? Man, that would have fired them dudes up. You'd have ran all over the Saints. We'd have murdered them. The defense was playing so strong. But nope, Kevin got him out there in 3 and 5 wide when you should have been in 12 personnel. Just like Baker's last year here, you're playing to Deshaun Watson's weaknesses because you're trying to have this sophisticated hoity-toity offense. Like, let me tell you something. You know what spurred me on and gave me the fire to make this video? Kevin, was when you ran a quarterback sweep to the right down by the goal line. And at first, I was looking at it like, well, where's Deshaun Watson going? He had perfect protection. He had a clean pocket. He abandoned the play early to take off and run. Is it, what is this? And it wasn't until I watched the replay and he got murderized. I mean, he took some hits for nothing. It was ridiculous. For what, 2-3 yards? I mean, damn, the dude just got a surgically repaired shoulder. Why is he running like that on purpose? And when I watched the replay, that's when I saw the guards pull. Or the guard and the tackle pull, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? This is the design quarterback run down by the goal line? Are you stupid? You don't run them plays down by the goal line. Especially with 3 wide. You thought that was a smart play? With a quarterback with a surgically repaired shoulder who's proven to be injury prone since he's gotten here. Against a goal line set, which is nothing but linebackers. And safeties up tight. You get no traction, and you didn't. You didn't get any traction, and you almost got your quarterback killed. Pretty much the same thing you did to Baker. You almost got him killed. You're not running an offense to your quarterback's skill set, to your whole offense's skill set. Again, you're not built for this. You're built for 3 wide at best. You're built for 3 wide at best. As far as passing game, you can't be going 4 and 5 wide. You're not built for that. You don't have the personnel. I keep hammering this point home because it's true. I don't know why nobody sees this. This is a power running football team that Kevin Stefanski is ruining with his coaching because he refuses to call the game built on what he has. He's trying to be Bill Walsh. You're not Bill Walsh, bro. Bill Walsh went out and got the pieces to run his offense. He built around his quarterbacks. He knew his quarterback's limitations early. You got a rookie quarterback, you know what? He needs a safety blanket at wide receiver. Yeah, this lanky kid right here, he's not really fast, but, he runs precise routes. He always makes the tough catches. He makes the catch. If I run this play here, run him up the middle, that'll be a touchdown. Now you got Dwight Clark on film talking about, the thing is to go off and draw up. No, you're not him, Kevin. Not with this type of personnel. No. Go back to what you were running that you were successful at, which was the power running game. That's what they brought you here to coach. You were doing so well before Baker's last year. You're trying to prove a point that you can run your offense if you had a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, who I guess you think is in your head was supposed to be what, a better version of Lamar Jackson. He's definitely nowhere close to Joe Burrow. I mean, Pittsburgh, their quarterback situation was a mess, but Justin Fields, if they get him another wide receiver, and they just, you know, play Steeler football, run the football. You got two good backs. Be a power running team. Stop trying to throw the ball 30 times a game with Justin Fields. He's not that type of quarterback. That was another move that I swear Andrew Berry failed at. You could have got that kid for a 6th-round pick. I mean, not only would you have brought him in to compete with Jameis Winston, and DTR, all right, maybe push DTR, keep him on the 53-man roster just to keep him from going to Pittsburgh. It would have been the ultimate chess move. And then maybe you can develop the kid. After all, he is a number 1 pick. He would have been your backup plan to Deshaun Watson. With a good, strong defense, he started off 3-0 with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh defense cost them those last 2 losses where they're now 3-2. Their defense blew that game for them on back-to-back games. It wasn't his fault. If the Steelers mess around there and trade for Davante Adams, you can kiss it goodbye. You can kiss it goodbye. Because that Hawkins kid down there, or Hopkins, whatever his name is, like, in all honesty, he's a number 2. He's a number 2. He's not a number 1 wide receiver. In all honesty, he's a number 2. He's not a true number 1. Davante Adams is a true number 1. If the Steelers get him, you can forget it. Because then everybody will be in their comfort zone. You'll have a reliable number 1 and a reliable number 2 who can make the big catches and have some downfield speed, a solid tight end, and 2 good running backs. Maybe you throw in, a slot receiver. But your slot is really just bait. Your tight end is your main priority. No different than the Browns. That's AFC North football. That's why Lamar Jackson was winning awards, and the Ravens were winning football games because they were a power football team that developed their quarterback and put him in a system that works for him. Turns out he's pretty good in the spread. Give him a 3 wide receiver set. Oh, that kid will eat you alive. We see it. He'll eat you alive. We got Derrick Henry too. He's got a good running game to support him from a 3 wide receiver split. There's no linebacker or safety that's going to take Derrick Henry down when he's got a full head of steam or getting there by himself. You better go low. You better get those ankles. You better hold on tight. You better get me off my feet. Because I'll just, shoulder bump or stiff arm you. I like the stiff arm. So many missed opportunities. But yeah, they run they still have a power running game, even though they're three wide. The only team that finally has a power, now they have some form of a power running game, running the three wide, is Cincinnati. But as we know, Cincinnati's really their biggest weakness is always their running game and their offensive line. And their defense isn't as good as, the Ravens and Steelers and the Browns. Their defense is pretty weak, especially in the run game. Pretty weak in the run game. And their secondary is decent. It's not good, but it's decent. They have moments. How about that? They have guys that occasionally make some plays. Stop clock is right at least twice a day. you know. But this team, this defense, it was not meant to be out there so much. This is why they wear down. They stop playing as hard. They make business decisions. I mean, it's just so funny to have some guy tell me that it was when Robert Saleh got fired. And I said, if I was the Jets players, especially on defense, I'd be making business decisions right now. Because, you pretty much chose not Aaron Rodgers, but Hackett. You chose the offensive coordinator over our head coach when, although he has his flaws, it's not his fault that the offense isn't working. You told me that Nathaniel Hackett would be Aaron Rodgers' best offensive coordinator. He loves this guy because they won the Super Bowl almost 20 years ago. All right? Almost 20 years ago. And this guy was run out of Denver because, not only is Russell Wilson terrible, but your offensive scheme is garbage. It's outdated. It's terrible. And Rodgers is playing ever so much as a 40-year-old quarterback would play. Who the last time I saw him in a Green Bay Packers uniform with the game on the line late in the fourth, he was just lobbing the balls up. Like, here you go. If you catch it, you catch it. You don't, you don't. And of course, they were getting picked off because they were jump balls. Like, you don't have the wide receivers for that. These guys are fast. Throw the guy open. What are you doing? Yeah, Brett Favre, the last time I saw him in a Packers uniform, he was doing the same goofy shit. Just throwing the ball up. Out there just being a football Jesse, like he out in the backyard. Like it's a Sunday barbecue. Really not giving a fuck. It's almost like the Jets didn't learn their lesson when, they traded for Brett Favre and he got Mike Holmgren fired. Not Mike Holmgren. Who was the guy? He wound up coming to coach the Browns. Actually, he did get Mike Holmgren fired, didn't he? But I think that was a clash of egos. Steve Mangini, Eric Mangini. When Eric Mangini, when he was here, like he was coaching the Jets, and Brett Favre pretty much, they got him, of course, busted the whole cheating thing or whatnot, but pretty much Brett Favre got him fired. And then Brett Favre went on to the Vikings, and it took them to practically tearing his arm off for him to decide to go ahead and retire. But he went to the Vikings just to stick it to the Packers because that's where he wanted to go in the first place. At any rate, Aaron Rodgers is the same person as Brett Favre is as far as making football decisions. All right, as far as the same manner in which they play. They both say goofy stuff. You understand what I'm saying? They both caught up in controversy. Like, come on, the owner called you on Monday night just to see how you was feeling, and then the next day they went ahead and fired the head coach, marched him out by security even. I mean, damn, like didn't even pull him, like let him go say goodbye to the team or nothing. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, you should have let him fire Hackett, promote a new offensive coordinator, and let's try to get this thing rolling. Somebody has to look. It's not like the defense is terrible. Hey, I'm hands off on the offense. I'm coaching my defense. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing over there. All I know is that the quarterback is playing like shit in the offensive game plan. Like, what is this? I don't understand what they're doing. Why would you call that? There's no life to the offense at all. He brought in all these players. These guys can't even really play that well. Most of these guys aren't even playing. What the hell? You fire the offensive coordinator, not the head coach. That's okay. They're going to crash and burn because the defense is going to play like shit. And like I said, you make business decisions out there on the field as a Jets defender. And some guy, of course, got upset with me about that and said that, well, you're just a couch potato. You would know. I'm like, dude, you see it all the time. I mean, where's Devontae Adams right now? Why is Deshaun Watson in Cleveland? Okay. Why is Justin Fields and Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh? Hmm? Why is Robert Saleh no longer the Jets head coach? Why is Henry leading the league in rushing as a Raven? Why is Derrick Henry leading the league in rushing yards as a Raven? The Baltimore Raven. I mean, business decisions are made all over the field. That was one of the reasons why they didn't like him in uh in Atlanta because they felt that he was out there making business decisions concerning the run game, that he didn't play the run well at all. He didn't want to get hurt. So he was poor at it. The wide receiver just put his hands on him and he makes no effort to break free from the guy to make a play on the running back. Like the running back don't run close to him, but he makes his cut. I was like, well, I'll just chase him down from the backside. Like, no, dude. By then, the linebacker and safety have got him. Why you still tangled up with this DB? That if you put some effort into it, you could have probably dropped the guy as fast as you are, and you're not weak. You could have brought him down for maybe a 3 to 5 yard loss. Instead, he picked up 5. That reputation stuck with Dion his whole career. I mean, they celebrated him make an attack on LaDainian Tomlinson in the Super Bowl. I mean, it was a celebration. He got up, pumping his fist and everything. Yeah, he went low, brought Tomlinson down, stopped him from getting a big game. Boom! And it was he made a tackle. Come on. San Francisco jacked up the price on your trade. They robbed Dallas. They didn't even benefit financially. They just drove up the price on Dion. It further crippling the Cowboys for the future. Yeah, they won that Super Bowl, but after that, they just they went to shit. Bill Parcells couldn't resuscitate that franchise. Sorry, sometimes I get sidetracked. But I mean, it's just football history. If you know anything about the game, and you know how this shit is played. Yeah, but I would make business decisions and get the hell up out of there. Get the hell up out of there. Trust me, I'm good enough. My, you want to put me on the trade block? Please, yes. Yes. These are the teams I want to go to. Y'all work that out. You know, I'm not playing to lose. I want to play to win. That's why Brandon Ayuk was, excuse me, Brandon Ayuk was doing all that pouting like a little kid because he only got 3 catches in the Super Bowl. Like, hey, dude, did it ever dawn on you that the Kansas City Chiefs, the reason why they're there is not because of Patrick Mahomes, but because of their defense, most particularly their secondary? Those guys are pretty freaking good, man. That's why you had 3 catches. That's why the slot guy, Jennings, was making all the catches. Him and Kittle. The offense didn't run to you outside guys. You're an outside guy. It didn't run your way. This wasn't that type of game. Excuse me. They have a damn good pass rush. Karlaftis and Jones, those guys know how to get after the quarterback. We are not a pass happy team. We're a run first team. Why you think your quarterback throws for like 225 yards and 3 touchdowns? You know what I'm saying? We are a run first team. We are dedicated to it by hook or crook. That's the secret to winning in the NFL. Flat out. Make your business decisions, Jets defensive players. Get the hell up out of there. Get the hell up out of there. Maybe some of you offensive guys too. I mean, come on. If an owner is that stupid, my whole point of this is if you have an owner that's that stupid as Woody, get out of there. Get out of there. They do not care about your future or you as players. It's Aaron's house now. What Aaron say goes. He got his little yes man up in there. He was always the contingency plan anyway, in case it didn't work out with him and Robert Saleh, because they wanted to fire him last year. But it's like, damn, you need to get this guy a quarterback and an offensive coordinator that can coach him up to the best of his abilities. And this kid right here, like the only reason Zach Wilson, the only reason why you drafted him was because he made an amazing throw in a controlled practice. Are you kidding me? That's why. Nothing else? Because you don't hear about any other tangibles about him, about how he throws guys open and he makes the team better and all this. Like the big story about him coming out of college is he banged his friend's mom or something like that. Like it's nothing about his football acumen as a collegiate athlete. Nobody talks about it. The kid was trash. He is trash. You gave him. I mean, Bo Nix in his rookie year is looking better than Zach Wilson was in his third year. And he's having a typical struggling rookie year. Even though they lost today, he showed marketed improvement. Just like Caleb Williams. Thing is, the coaching staff has to they don't have a running game. That's their problem. They don't have a running game. But the thing is, the running game is not necessarily about personnel as it is about will of strength. Flat out. We saw Kyle Shanahan take the Falcons to a Super Bowl with that stuff. We saw what he did when he was offensive coordinator here in Cleveland with the crap running backs that we had. West and Crowell. Crowell was like becoming a little superstar. Problem was that he just couldn't catch the pitch out. His hands were terrible. His hands were terrible for a pitch out. He was always like, if you know that's not his strength, stop running it. Why do you keep running it if he keeps dropping the pitch out to where it's a lateral? Stop running it. He's not that back. Can West do that? Can he catch the pitch out? Well, then you run that with him. I don't care if the defense knows that it's coming. Just block it. Just block it. That's all you got to do is block it well. Shoot. You really think they're 3 steps behind you on every play? Sometimes you got to make stuff happen. Crowell was good at that. On the zone run read. Hell, it was the only thing that Robert Griffin was known for good as a football player, was running in the Shanahan. Running in the Shanahan offense. How about that? I know it's late. It's 1:35 in the morning. Right, hour 44. The Jets supposedly have 2 good running backs. They rebuilt their offensive line. They got a solid left tackle. They got a good number 1 wide receiver. Supposedly a solid tight end. Run the football. Run the football. You got a 4-year-old quarterback. You don't want to be trying to put the game in his hands as much as they try to, 3 wide and Aaron from the shotgun and all. No. Simplify the offense. Make it just keep it simple, stupid. That's all you got to do. When you're struggling on offense, go back to basics. Just run the football. Common sense. Common sense. Just run the football. That's why these guys are not producing. This is exactly why these guys are not producing. Sure, Deshaun Watson supposedly has the intangibles that most teams today that are successful running 3 to 5 wide receiver sets are. Josh Allen, the master of the 3 to 5, right? As is Patrick Mahomes. Even when he doesn't have all the talent, you know, that was the sad part about Hill leaving the Chiefs, was that he worked well with Mahomes. He knew how to get open. He was there, Elijah Moore. He knew how to get open. He knew how to adjust to the ball. As soon as he see Patrick Mahomes scramble, he run into an open spot. He's not stupidly running towards a DB. He's running to an open spot and sticking his hand up. And he already know, if I roll out, I'm looking for Hill. Where's 10? There he is. Whoop. Arcing rainbow to a wide open Tyreek Hill. 15-10-5 touchdown. It's a shame he went to Miami, where it looks like I guess I'm going around the NFL now, because in all honesty, that's really the problem with the Browns. 5 wide from the wrong type of offense. And this is what I'm talking about right now. When you're a running team, personnel is a running team. Your coach is screwing it up. Stefanski is screwing it up, and Andrew Berry needs to sit down and have a talk with him. And be like, look, this is why Deshaun Watson is going to continue playing, because you're going to take the offense back to basics, back when you first got here, when you were winning games. Like this spread offense, we do not have the personnel for that. You know that. So stop doing it. Please stop doing it. Nick Chubb is coming back. Lean on the guys that I got you until Nick Chubb is ready to go. Trust in your guys. Show them you have some faith in them by putting the team on their shoulders. Show some faith. Simplify the offense for your quarterback. He's struggling out there. He cannot run that offense. He's running for his life because our tackle positions and our guard positions are not pass blockers. They're not 30 times a game, 40, 50 times a game, especially from a 5 wide, pass blockers on any level whatsoever. Kiss the offense. Deshaun Watson has all of the so-called tangibles of these other quarterbacks who can run it. You know, he's a mobile quarterback, very athletic, and can throw on the run. And also has the option to run the football. But the difference is their ability to process the reads. Three and 5 is not, you're stretching it too much for a quarterback who doesn't have much time in the pocket, who is now at the point where if the first read breaks down, he's got happy feet and he's looking to run out of the pocket because he's afraid of getting hit. I mean, even when he has a clean pocket, he is so accustomed to getting hit that he throws these terrible passes. He's very inaccurate because he's not letting the ball go with any type of confidence whatsoever. He is not comfortable in that type of setting, and you're destroying his confidence. You're destroying his confidence. He's frustrated as hell out there. Listen to the people. They want him gone. They want him gone. All because your head coach is not managing the team right, the offense that he's so responsible for, that he refuses to give up play calling duties for. I mean, Alex Van Pelt may have been your friend, but he was so much of your friend that you didn't even let him be an offensive coordinator. He was just pretty much a guy you bounce wacky ideas off of. You wonder why the Browns are so good on their opening drive because of the scripted plays, because that's what they rehearse over and over and over again throughout the week. So Deshaun is comfortable. He can make the second read, sometimes the third read, get a good push on the running game, maybe a little screen pass or two or whatnot, whatever. Get some points on the opening drive. But after that, when it's not something that's constantly rehearsed, it's out the window. It's out the window for the guy. Excuse me. It's not his forte. You won't have to lean on the running game and throw when you need to. You got all the way down there, what, to the 5, and you're running quarterback sweeps. Quarterback sweeps by the goal line. I swear to God, that's when my villain origin story that made me want just need to have to make this video came into fruition. How dare you? I mean, how dare you? How insulting of a play. And by the way, fella, Greg Newsome got burnt. Now, getting burnt and getting beat may be two different words, but they both have the same meaning. You don't have to give up a touchdown to get burnt. You got burnt by the big play. You've never heard an announcer say that? Oh, they got burned by the big play. Like, come on. They have the same meaning. They're just two different words with the same objective. It's just like saying, like, wow, like that looks cool. Versus, yeah, man, that's tight. Same shit. It's just said differently. It's appreciated. You know what the verbiage means. Like, stop playing. Oh my God, I swear to God, these guys on the internet. Burnt and beat means the same thing. Just because you think that they mean something different, well, that's on you. But you're not changing my mind. So why are you trying to? And with fallacy and in fantasy, I've already argued my point. That's it. End of story. You cannot deny that I have a solid point. Leave it alone. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Yeah, so Stefanski might actually wind up getting fired, and Vrabel might step in just like Greg Williams did to close out the season. I mean, what are we, 1-4? 1-5? The season's over. The season's over. There's no coming back from this. I mean, if they're talking about the Bengals season is over and we're in a worse offensive, because the problem is not the Bengals offense. The problem is the Bengals defense. Our problem is our offense, which then becomes the defense's problem because then the defense starts making business decisions out there. You saw that in the Redskins game. Although unfortunately, This is why you have to cut Greg Newsome. He is a liability out there. The dude got burnt for the big play. With the game on the line, it was 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 4, and they went deep. Went deep to Brown, and he made the catch. I think it was like a 40-yard catch. He tackled him to save the touchdown. He got burnt for 40 yards. It put the game away because of time. It was under 2 minutes to play. They needed that first down, and they got it with yardage. And you a number 1 pick. You was mad because Emerson took your spot at the number 2, and you had to play in the nickel. You had to learn how to play in the nickel. I mean, yeah, you're good at covering tight ends and running backs. You suck at covering wide receivers. You cannot cover wide receivers in the nickel, let alone outside. Martin Emerson either. Without Ward back there to take the pressure off of him of covering a true number 1, the dude is outclassed. Outclassed. I mean, Jesus Christ, he made Daniel Jones look like he was worth that contract the Giants gave him. With Malik Neighbors, I mean, the kid's a rookie, and he caught 2 touchdown passes early and often. He had a breakout day. In Cleveland. Are you kidding me? What are you guys doing out there? You're not even covering the guy. These guys are running wide open all over the end zone, and you guys are just standing there flat-footed. Anticipate the goddamn route. What are you doing? Whew. See, this is what I'm talking about. Business decisions. That's what business decisions look like. People who are not playing on instinct. They just out there collecting a check. Bush letting the quarterback run right past him on an Eagles 3rd and 2 on an option. That was another attempt at getting the ball back and giving the Browns offense another chance to maybe try to string something together. Hopefully we get a touchdown out of this. Pray that something happens. Somebody got to make a play. And Denver in the 4th quarter, Bo Nix started making plays. I mean, sure, it may have been against, prevent defense, but he led them back to where they were an onside kick recovery away from winning that football game. That kid plays with heart. I'll give him that. He may not be confident in his throwing ability because I think he's a 1-read quarterback too right now. Or if he got to check it down, he's lost. He's lost. He'll get the scrambling around, or he'll throw a bad pass to his number 2 or something like that. Maybe if he gets the clearest field of sight where he's playing backyard football, because I notice he's like he's just like Elway. He plays backyard football. He gets outside the pocket. He finds the open lanes out in the flat where he can either run it or throw it. That's where he's best at. Really not good in the pocket too much. But once he get outside, he's That's when he's comfortable. He's in his element. So Denver is in for a treat once he learns to throw from the pocket. Once he feels comfortable throwing from the pocket. Yeah, you guys are in for a treat. The guy is exciting. I'll give you that. And you need a running game. You get him a running game, then he can be Mr. Magician out there, for some thrills and some chills. But you need to get him a running game. Um, yeah, I'm surprised Denver. Oh, that's right. No, that Denver don't have any money because of the Russell Wilson situation, so they couldn't assign Derrick Henry. Yeah, they pretty much, the next 2 years they eat ramen noodles. uh, please don't get me started on Deshaun Watson's contract. Look, if he gets suspended by the league, the Browns can get out of the contract. It's as simple and easy as that. Simple and easy as that. That's what the clause dictates. Yo, if you get in any more trouble involving these freaking lawsuits, if you please make sure you settle all lawsuits. We don't want nothing coming out of the closet. And the Browns knew months ahead that he had a lawsuit pending, on this last chick, Miss going out on an 8, allegedly. But he settled that lawsuit, and I'm pretty sure she settled with the Texans too. If she's smart, she had the same lawyer. The lawyer, of course, I'm pretty sure, based on when we were when we were studying the case, the max that these girls could sue for was $150,000 per complainant. So they got 150 from Watson and 150 from the Texans because the Texans knew about the underground alleged sex ring. Because how Deshaun Watson got even mixed up in it was he was getting beat up out there. And of course, the training room was packed because these guys were like 4-11, but he was putting up Pro Bowl numbers. That's exactly why he's here. With very few turnovers. Problem was he was also the most sacked, and he had no talent outside of Hopkins and Johnson. But at any rate, so teammate gave him, here, call this number or hit this chick up, tell her I sent you, and that you need a massage, and she'll hook you up. He's like, trust me, man, like, best massage you'll ever have. And 67 chicks later, he's in Cleveland. But of course, he got suspended because there were at least 4 girls who legitimately were just like, I'll pass. And of course, do understand he's so far into it that he's just on autopilot. So he's being creepy. And that's pretty much what the 4 I said no's were about. Nobody was thrown down and forced into copulation or fondled with his hands or feet. Okay. And requesting certain massages and then expecting more than what he was getting while laying on his back with an erect statue. Listen, that's it. Like, yes, sir. I don't do that. I'm not that type of massage therapist. And whether they are or not, they said no. And in all honesty, I talked about this during this whole thing, and I said, I don't know why dudes didn't learn from Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter reportedly reportedly. Would have chicks leave their cell phones at the door, like put them in the safe. They come out to the house, put your cell phone in the safe. You know, they have their time together, and then you know, do understand once the cell phone goes in the safe, you sign an NDA. Sign an NDA before anything happens. All right. So you spend your time together, and then when you leave, you get your cell phone back and a lovely gift basket. And of course, probably in the gift basket was probably, you know, thank you for a lovely time, you know, in a brown envelope or a white one, maybe a vanilla one with, flowers on it and whatnot. You know, surrounded by, candies and roses and all of that crap. Whatever he decided a gift basket would contain. Who knows? Uh, any rate, so you hear nothing about his escapades, and it's like, you know, why why are you so sloppy? That's why you got caught up, because you were sloppy. You had an addiction. Thank God you don't have it anymore. But the thing was, you got sloppy because you had an addiction, and it got uncontrollable. 67 in a year and a half, bro. Come on, good lord. It's only 52 weeks in a year. Were you really that beat up? Were you really that frustrated? Now, I know you got those pressures on you. You got the pressures of trying to run this offense, and it's not working. It's not working. Your head coach is not doing you any favors. The GM is not doing you or the head coach any favors. And now you're going to throw Nick Chubb into the mix. Are you kidding me? Like he's going to be your Lotto Zana. The only way they'll do that is if you go back to 12 personnel, which Nick Chubb is good at running through. That zone read run, he's good at that. Give him a hole, boom. Next thing you know, he's got a linebacker chasing him from the back. uh, let him build his confidence, and let him put the team on his back. Maybe we'll play for a wild card spot. Who knows? I mean, the way quarterbacks and players are dropping like flies out here, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? The Bengals have. I mean, their games are fun, but their season is done. Their season is done. I'm pretty sure Joe Burrow is like, I am not going out with a losing record. You got me fucked up. I'm pretty sure that's on Joe Burrow's mind. I'm pretty sure, like, yo, we may be 1-4. That don't mean that we gonna lose 10 straight games up in this bitch. Are you crazy? No, we can still salvage this season. Like, we may not make the playoffs, but that don't mean that we could just throw in the towel. Come on, we're making plays out here. Our offense is unstoppable. How about we help the defense out? We make our catches. We make our blocks. We make our read runs. I throw a little crisper, a little more accurate. Let's put teams away early. You know what I'm saying? Let's put teams away early in the first half, and then let our defense and running game do the rest. That's what I would be saying if I was Joe Burrow. Like, I'll be damned if we finish worse than the Browns. It's like in the Steelers, we can probably catch the Steelers. We can at least, you know, show these guys in the AFC North that, we ain't dead yet. Anything could happen. It's a long season. Lamar has a history of injury, right? We don't have to worry about the Browns. Watson's a mess out there. They don't know what to do. Then the Steelers, like, I mean, their defense isn't as good as they used to be. You know, like they need to play with at least a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. If not, they're cooked. Anything less than that, they're cooked. If it's a one-score game, they're cooked. Bengals still got a shot. I tell you that Jaden Daniels, he's gonna win Rookie of the Year. Clearly. They got out there in Washington. I mean, 242 yards, 3 touchdown passes, touchdown run. They went into what 34-13 or whatnot. I mean, you saw what they did to us. He dominated us, and then he only threw 1 touchdown pass, the 1 interception. Dominated us. Burned our corners with big plays. Embarrassed us. We supposed to have the best secondary in the division, right? If not the league. And they're out there catching bombs on us. Oh my God. I don't know what the hell is going on with Grant Delpit. I mean, he plays best up towards the line of scrimmage. Him, JOK, and Myles Garrett make the perfect blitzing combo. All right, with Denzel Ward covering the main wide receiver, you should be blitzing about 40 to 60% of the time on pass plays. Like, hell, even run plays. There's no way jet sweeps are supposed to be eating you alive. Who is losing containment? Who is making business decisions out there on containment? Is it Bush? Because, I mean, we did witness him do that today. At least I know I did. So I say you got mediocre linebackers. Personally, my first pick of the draft would have been towards the best linebacker that was on the board, not a defensive tackle who is suspended for getting into a physical altercation with his fiance over her baby daddy. You're crazy. You guys are supposed to do background checks on these guys. And be like, dude, what are you doing? I mean, good Lord, you got Caleb Williams' mama stealing packages. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I mean, it's a crying freaking shame. Your son is a $20 million quarterback, or really 40. 20 with your initial contract with a $20 million signing bonus. So you're a $40 million quarterback. And your mama out here stealing people's packages on ring cam. I mean, what? Come on, man. Come on, man. This is where you need to sit down and have a talk with your family and let them know, hey, look, that will not be tolerated. Like, I will cut you off. Like, not because I want to, but because I have to, because my career is on the line. I am a public figure now. I am a sports public figure now. I'm the number one draft pick. The things you guys do is reflected upon me. Stealing packages, Ma? Really? Why? Why? Because you could? Because you felt like it? Because you didn't like them? What could it possibly be that you felt the need you had to steal it? You didn't even know what it was, did you? You didn't know what was in the packages, did you? You just wanted to steal them just because, right? Cameras everywhere. How do you not recognize these doorbell cameras? Don't you think people are gonna check the door? I mean, they're getting notifications that you're standing right there in the hallway, walking back and forth. I mean, that's just how they have the video because it records movement and it sends the owner ping to let them know, hey, there's movement in your area. And once it keeps pinging, they look up and then they see you stealing their packages. For what? I I will have look, one more like that, I will cut you loose. You will be banned from games. Matter of fact, take a 2 week vacation right now. Take a 2 week vacation right now. Better yet, in order for it to not be talked about on TV, I need you to clear this up before you come back. I'm not kidding. I will let the team know not to let you in. And it's for the best for my career. It has nothing to do with your feelings. You're still my mom, but I'm still here. I'm not kicking you out. I'm just saying you just can't come to the games until after you clear this up. Flat out. I don't need the announcers showing you every time I'm on offense, like they be showing Taylor Swift whenever Travis Kelsey makes a catch or runs a route where he was open, but uh, Mahomes didn't see him, or maybe he blocks a little. I don't need them doing that to you because they will do that to you. You will be all they talk about. They'll make a national fool out of you. So stay your ass home until you clear this up. If you found guilty, I can't have you back at the stadium. If you get it resolved, in a positive way, pay the restitution, get them people back their stuff, write them a check, you know, tell them you was just being stupid, say you were drinking, say you was drinking, you know, and you thought it'd be funny to, steal their packages. I didn't really, and please tell me you didn't open them. Please tell me you didn't open them. I hope you didn't open them. But at any rate, you can say you were drinking. You thought it'd be funny to steal their packages, and then you got curious as to see, well, what did I stupidly steal? Like, so that's why. But I had no intentions on keeping the stuff. Like once I sobered up and I realized, well, that's why I'm here, and I felt so embarrassed. I didn't come over right away, and unfortunately, here I am on ring cam on the news. Like, but I never really had any intention of actually keeping the merchandise. I was just being drunk and stupid. Like, and I apologize. I'm celebrating. My son's playing well. Hate to drag him into this, because I mean I am his mom, but I'm just happy that he's playing well. He's happy. The city loves him. I didn't mean to make him look bad. I apologize, son. I apologize to the city of Washington D.C. Like, and I apologize to you most of all. Like, it was a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was being stupid. I was being stupid. Drunk and stupid. Like, but here's a check to cover any damages that I may have caused to your property, and it just be a nice size check, maybe 50K or something like that. They'll look at it. Oh, hopefully there'll be no media present, but if there is media present, you know maybe you go with an officer, so that way you feel more comfortable, they'll feel more comfortable, you know because they don't know you, they don't people don't know you, they don't know how you really are. I mean, you're stealing their packages. uh, yeah, do it with a police officer, that way it's on body cam, and that way people will see that you are actually sincere about it, because I mean, you should be sincere about it. There's no way you should be defiant about what you did, because you did it. You did it. You did it. So give a genuine apology, return the stuff, give them a check. Hopefully they'll forgive you. They'll be mad at you, but maybe they'll forgive you. Maybe they won't, but at least they'll feel better about the situation. Who knows? That's pretty much really what these Deshaun Watson lawsuits were about. You get 150 from the team, 150 from Watson, so that's $300,000. The lawyer probably took maybe 120K, if not 140K, off of each chick's cut for trying their cases individually, because that's exactly what he did. He tried their cases individually instead of a class action, simply because of the financial limits that each victim could get. They came out better as individual suitors than they would have as a class action. Because let's say they would have got like maybe 1.3 million or something like that, divided by 4. Okay, because it eventually, okay, let's say $10 million divided by the 26 or whatever. The ones that he actually settled with, which was like I think 24 or whatnot at the time, would eventually, you know, any rate. So as a class action, they wouldn't have got, like I said, as much as they came out with individually. They would have came out maybe with like a lump sum of maybe 20 million divided by all of them plus lawyers' fees. And he'd have took a big chunk of that. So you were better off with the 150 out of 26. Really, plus you had the Texans. So like I said, that's 300K. The lawyer took maybe about 140 to 160, maybe 120. So, per case. So this dude, he made over $1 million. Practically really made over $2 million. It was like 26, 27 that they settled with, and that's just with the girls. So he made maybe about $5 million off of the whole case, based off of his lawyer fees alone. Because, like I said, he, with the girls, both sued Watson and the Texans, who are glad to be rid of him. And you see what they're doing now. And you don't hear nary a peep about them being a bad franchise or anything like that. And, you know, They hired the right coach, and he's a brother. So much for all the claims of racism about the Houston Texans organization. Black coach, black quarterback, and they got a good one. DeMeco Ryans is a damn good coach, both offensively and defensively. You hear him communicating with his offensive coordinators. You see the results on the field where your quarterback throws a post pattern and then he stands there with his arms closed, staring down the crowd. I mean, you see it. You see it. They got something special. Those guys they're doing the damn thing. They're a perfect combo. And they got some talent. I mean, it was just so sad that the NFL's number one wide receiver and somebody who you never thought would be a true number one wide receiver went down with injury, and Stefon Diggs is looked upon as the second option. Well, this is why we got Stefon Diggs. I mean, they pretty much said it like that. Like, in case, we lose our number one wide receiver. I mean, you saw what happened when Tank Dell broke his leg. The offense went stagnant. I mean, sure, we beat the Browns, but damn, the Ravens they made us one-dimensional. We couldn't do nothing. We couldn't do nothing but just throw to the right. It was pathetic. Instead, now we just go to Stefon Diggs. I can't even remember the guy's name. He's such a non-host. Was it Nelson? No, that's the Packers guy. Good Lord. Hold on. Here we go. I want to at least get the man's name right. Jesus. Nico Collins. Right. Nico Collins. Because now that he's out, yeah. Now that he's out, Robert Woods is out. So you got Stefon Diggs, the new number one, and Tank Dell moves up, and some guy named Xavier Hutchinson. But the beauty of it is that with Stefon Diggs, they're supposed to have a better version of Nico Collins. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be reliable. But as we saw in his years in Buffalo, if it's cold weather, if he outside in cold weather in December, November, if it's wet outside, he's not reliable. He'll drop the ball on you. We've seen that in playoff games, big games that they air on Buffalo. He'll drop the ball on you at the most crucial time. He's done that a couple of times. So as long as you're paying, hopefully it's because of the weather, but if you're playing in a dome, maybe he'll make those catches, in the fourth quarter or whatnot. Maybe he'll make those catches. So we'll see. He has no choice now. He's the number one dog. He was, the messed up part was he was always number one, but Nico Collins playing at number two wound up getting so much shine, they moved him to number one, and now he's hurt, and now he's gone. So Stefon Diggs is back being the main target. And Tank Dell is not a bad number two. He's really a slot guy. He works well underneath. He's one of the league's best slot guys. But now he's in a number two spot. So it's like you're coming off of a leg injury and you appear to be very talented, but are you talented enough to hold your own as a number two wide receiver? Because there's really nobody behind you. I mean, Xavier Hutchinson, who was that? John Metchie, who was that? Stephen Sims, come on. Who are these guys? Who are these guys? So hopefully Tank Deal can step up. But it's fine though, because they can lean on their running game. Joe Mixon has been a pleasant surprise out there in Houston. He's been a very pleasant surprise. He's shown that he can carry the load still. Like personally, I don't think the Bengals used him to the best of his ability. I always thought that he was like a zone read type of running back. I mean, he was serviceable in Cincinnati, but I think he worked better out of a 12 personnel. He works a whole lot better out of 12 personnel. A lot of his big plays, big runs have come out of the 12, or sometimes the three wide where he has like a fullback in the backfield or something. So they have a good running game. And Damian Pierce, he's a pretty good backup. He can come in and spell. He can come back and spell Joe Mixon. Right. And their defense is pretty solid too. You know, I mean, let's be honest. They have a damn good defense. So we'll see what happens with that. That's what the Texans did with all them draft picks that we gave them. Meanwhile, we're wasting our ingrown talent. And you know what? I'll tell you the number one thing Miami is going to invest in the offseason, and that's going to be a quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a play for Shedeur Sanders, and I think he would fit in perfectly in Miami because Miami likes to throw the ball deep. They got some damn good speedy wide receivers, in Hill and Waddle. Those guys can fly and they can catch. They leave guys in the dust. And they beat you clean. Beat me, pew. I think Sanders is more suited for the long ball. In the McDaniels. Is it McDaniels? Michaels? McDaniels, yeah, in his offense. Yeah, I think he's suited for that offense. So him being in Miami would be a perfect fit because let's be honest, Tua needs to go ahead and retire. He's not coming back this year. He's not coming back this year. When he banged his head, there's a reason why his family was all in the tunnel and everything because it was bad. It was bad. He was out of it. It was bad. It was bad. You see how he was laying out there on the field. This was bad. Yeah, he may say he's not retiring, but you know, your body is what decides whether you retire or not. Not necessarily your mind. Your body can outlast your mind in that sport. That's a beautiful thing. But in this case, sorry, your body can't make your mind's dreams come true. You're done. You're done. No football owner in his right mind would send you back out there to play another game for him ever. It was bad enough that after the cradling incident that you are still on the team now, but you were cleared to play. You were medically clear, you were physically clear, you were clear as day to play. Just so happened that you made a football play, call it concussion. Part of the game, it happens. That's why they find guys for leading with their heads like whole game checks or 2 game checks. Sometimes with some of these guys, 4 game checks. That's
why the kickoff rules are what they are now. So instead of running 10, 20, 30 yards downfield and bumping heads with some guy who, one of you, or if not both of you, go back to the sidelines with mild concussions, and you don't report it, and you go back out there on every kickoff, you're just banging heads. And then later on, come to find out, this is why you guys be getting hurt in practice. Little backup players, special teams players, this is how they get hurt in practice. Concussed. You see you really look at the injury report, you see a lot of concussion. Head injury, you know. Yeah, they cut all that out. They're trying to cut all that out. Unfortunately for Tua, he's not really. You slide feet first, bro. That's why they say you slide feet first for a reason. Don't worry about the yardage. You slide feet first. Your safety comes before the yardage. I know you're trying to make a football play. You're a football player. Yeah, big tough guy. But your safety comes first, bro. This is why. It's just like, what was the Steelers linebacker? Ryan Shazier. Right when they was telling them, hey, look, defender, stop tackling with the crown of your helmet. Stop tackling with the crown of your helmet. Stop tackling with the crown of your helmet. But he went ahead and tackled with the crown of his helmet, simple little tackle, and he never got up. Never played down again. Yeah, tore his spine up, tore his neck up. The safety comes first. So yeah, they be shopping for a quarterback, and Sanders would be a perfect fit for them. Of course, Dallas, they're set at quarterback. The Giants, no telling what they're going to do at quarterback. Let's see, the Raiders, they definitely need a quarterback. So for sure, the Raiders need a quarterback. Okay. Um, for sure, the Jets are going to need a quarterback. All right. For sure, the Seahawks might be looking at a quarterback, and for sure, the Giants might be looking at a quarterback. So, and maybe possibly the Steelers, but it all depends on how Justin Fields develops in the Steelers offense. If he keeps showing improvement, and if they get another wide receiver, a true number one, to help him out, to take some pressure off of him, expand his options, somebody that's reliable, because he is a long ball quarterback, then you go ahead and you do that and see how he develops. And if he develops well, you extend his contract, give him some quarterback money, and see him roll him out there. But it all depends on if he develops the rest of the season. Um, so the Steelers are a coin flip. It's up to Justin Fields if the Steelers look elsewhere for a quarterback or not. No telling what might go on with the Rams with Sam Darnold. I mean, he is pretty up there in age. The Rams aren't really going anywhere. It's pretty much just out there having fun. I mean, who knows? So, as the Browns, if Watson gets suspended, that's right. Let me close that loophole. The Browns knew well ahead of the lawsuit before it was released to the media. It wasn't until after he played like shit in the Dallas game that it was leaked to the media that he had this lawsuit against him, which was months old, just not settled. So he settled the lawsuit. The thing is, though, the Browns have a clause in his contract that if he gets suspended again, then they can null and void his contract and don't have to pay him a freaking dime. In fact, the $30 million signing bonus that they gave him, they want their unused portion back. So therefore, we can start over fresh with the hugest salary cap space in the league next year. We already have the most salary cap space right now, despite all of these high price guaranteed contracts. So yeah, you go into the off season with the most cap space. Trust me, you can get a veteran quarterback if Watson don't pan out. You can get a veteran quarterback. But the thing is that again, it's not necessarily quarterback, it's the offensive scheme. You'd be saving the team a boat ton of money that would probably kind of cripple it. We would have to let maybe a couple of guys go. We had to let them walk. If we couldn't trade them, we would have to, for picks, we would have to let them walk. Because at least in the draft, if I can't dump his salary, at least I can start over with cheap players. Maybe get a gem of a number one in quarterback, or maybe a left tackle, and maybe be able to trade up and get a quarterback in the late first, maybe early second. Tell Stefanski, don't screw it up. Run the ball. We got Nick Chubb for another 2 years. Run the goddamn ball. Matter of fact, let me speak on this. Let me see how the Browns wasted Nick Chubb's career. Nick Chubb is supposed to have been averaging, ever since Greg Williams found out that the kid could run the rock, instead of Baker being the focal point of the offense, it should have been Nick Chubb. And that way you take a lot of pressure off of Baker Mayfield and let him grow and develop as an NFL quarterback. But Nick Chubb is supposed to be averaging at least 1,500 yards a game for his career. Instead, he's getting like 1,100 here, maybe 1,000 there, because he's not getting his carries. And the worst part about it is that Kevin Stefanski, for some reason, tries to make the passing game be so vital during a critical play when you got a running back here. He was averaging 5.7 yards a carry in this particular game, and it's like the Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl situation when Baker and Chubb were working together here in Cleveland. Stop trying to get the critical first down with a pass. Line up with the best run blocking offensive line that you got, even to the point where you got an offensive lineman playing fullback, and get that 3rd and 2 or that 4th and 1. Yeah, they know it's coming, but they're not going to be able to stop it. This is our bread and butter. Get the hell out of here. The coach is putting this on us. I can't wait to knock this guy into the middle of next week. He's already breathing heavy. You know what I'm saying? Dude, he's not as strong as he started out. I'm getting traction on this guy. No, like man, come on. Should have been leaning on Nick Chubb the whole time and get him a back like they did. You got Kareem Hunt that could spell him. You should have been looking for another Kareem Hunt to come up behind him. Should have had a three-headed monster. And you kind of had that when you had Johnson as the third back. I mean, sure, he wouldn't break it past 10 yards, but at least you got 10 yards out of him as opposed to what, 3, 2? The crap you're getting from Jerome Ford. Instead, you let him go. He was a serviceable back. He was a good emergency back. He was good in the clutch. If you needed him for a game or two, he was there for you. I mean, these are coaching and GM moves that just baffle me. Yeah, but Chubb should have been averaging at least 1,500 yards a season, if not more, but at least on average. Because I mean, you think about games he might be hurt. He's been out a few games or whatnot. A sprained knee here or an ankle or a toe or stuff like that. I can't go, coach. So yeah, you needed somebody that could spell him. Derrick Henry. You needed somebody that could spell him. I mean, hell, I wouldn't even been mad if y'all gave Ezekiel Elliott a shot. I mean, bring the hometown boy home. Do something. Something that'll pump him up. Maybe he's good for 12 carries a game. Who knows? At any rate. Yeah, you needed to do that. Instead, you got a spread offense run guy who has a hard time getting through the holes in the spread offense. And I don't know if it's because of the offensive design or if it's his ability. And I understand we have new offensive coaches in the running game and the offensive line this year, but it was also a problem that he was running into last year as well. But then again, these guys are run blocking from a pass set, a 5-wide formation, which means that they're responsible for their lineman and the linebacker. That's ridiculous. Doesn't make sense. That's why the linebacker is stuffing the run, because they're just clogging the holes. Because Jerome Ford is not a Barry Sanders type. You understand? If the linebacker or safety is in the hole, forget it. If they're not, he'll probably get brought down by the defensive tackle or the defensive end. It's not often that he gets a lot of positive yardage running from the spread like that. So you might as well see what he looks like in the eye or the offset eye. Or 12 personnel, single back. Put some extra blockers out there. Somebody that can chip the linebacker off to give you a hole to squeak through to form a running lane. I mean, simplifying the offense is really the answer. You're out of the playoff chase, but I mean, who knows? If you do the right thing, who knows? Yeah, but looking at the draft, I would probably go right tackle, then quarterback. Did I say right? Left tackle, quarterback, guard, then linebacker. Then I work on my linebackers. If I can't get linebackers in corners in free agency, then I would have to get them from the draft. But in all honesty, I would rather put a veteran back there on defense than a rookie, unless the rookie was very instinctual and I could get my hands on him, as a draft pick in my range. As far as defense, so I want a veteran defense for sure. But offense, yeah, you're gonna have to start over with rookies. Maybe you might look up and there's a left tackle, the best left tackle in free agency. Maybe you might look up and get him, on a good deal, a cheap, a reasonable deal. Somebody not too old, maybe like somebody been in the league maybe 4 to 6 years, something like that. Let them know this is what the game plan is going to be, as far as the offense, and if you want to come, offer them a contract. See if they fit the scheme for sure. So if you can't do that in free agency, then you're gonna have to do it in the draft. You have to do it in the draft, which means you're gonna have to put up with a lot of rookie mistakes, and hopefully the kid does way more good than bad. Jones started off that way at right tackle last year. He did way more good than bad, but it's like he's not a 5 wide 40 snaps a game pass blocking right tackle. Not his forte. He's good in short sets. Maybe a tight end will chip, or a running back will chip out. Or maybe he can, like, his specialty really is making the defensive end take a wide berth to the quarterback. So by the time the quarterback is finished dropping back, he can have enough room to step up in the pocket on the right side because he's pushed the guy past the play. But the thing is that he's like a one-trick pony. He'll stick his hand out and try to block the guy like that, and they're chopping his wrists and blowing right past him on the inside. Now, if Bill Callahan was here, he would have fixed that, but he's not. We got these joke of a coaches. I don't even know their name. I don't even care to look them up, to be honest. You know what? Just to protect their anonymity, because I mean they're so bad. They say the running back coach is a guy who was a head coach for a college team that only won 3 games, and it wasn't even a power school. I mean, this guy's won 3 games out of whatever their schedule was, I guess a junior college or some shit. Indoor arena football league. I mean, what are we talking here? And he's the running back coach. And I don't even understand the purpose of hiring Dorsey. I mean, Dorsey is in the same position as Van Pelt. But I guess they figure that because he was friends with I'm understanding now what's going on with Stefanski and the play calling. I get it now. So this is what's going on with Stefanski and the play calling. Because him and Van Pelt were so close, Van Pelt didn't give him any pushback on him play calling. They draw up an offensive game plan, and Stefanski would call whatever the hell he wanted that was on his call sheet. This is how you get these goofy plays that I guess they were scripted and part of the game plan. But, trick plays don't work the way and as often as you expect them to. So when they fail, they look very stupid. But when they work, you're brilliant. At any rate, that stuff needed to come out of the offense. I understand it's a little razzle dazzle. Okay, whatever. But in all honesty, situational awareness and utilizing your personnel that's on the field, the talent that you have, there was a conflict with that. Because last year we was 5 wide. And it worked with Joe Flacco because Flacco's a gunslinger. He knows how to make the first, second, and third reads within, you know, 3.2 seconds. He knows the playbook. Like some of those interceptions that they threw with the Browns wasn't his fault. The receivers just ran the wrong routes. They weren't where they're supposed to be because Flacco was the type of quarterback that'll throw to a spot. That was his problem. That's why he didn't have success with the Jets because he was throwing to a spot with people who weren't talented enough to beat the defenders at the ball. So, yeah. Same thing going on with Aaron Rodgers. At any rate, Alex Van Pelt was letting him just do whatever he wanted with the offense. And it got to a point where they figured that Stefanski needed to give up play calling to Van Pelt, but he was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I mean, in all honesty, what type of shit is that for you to say, your friend is your offensive coordinator, right? You want us to hire him, right? Offensive coordinator, right? You telling us the offensive coordinator can't call the plays? Why not? What is so special about your play calling that the offensive coordinator can't do the same thing? Because you guys have a clash of opinion? Because I'm pretty sure Van Pelt would have relied on Nick Chubb. Just common sense. Utilize your best weapon. At any rate, so Van Pelt left, and so did the Browns' offensive line coach. The guy who coached the Raiders to the Super Bowl and got blown out by John Gruden. I forget his name. Callahan. So he was the Browns' offensive coordinator. And that was, that's his bread and butter, offensive line. Well, we had the best unit. So he left. And you didn't replace him with anybody that was up to his caliber or even close to his caliber. So the offensive line is a mess. Deshaun Watson is a mess. The wide receiving core looks to be a mess. The coaching is a mess. The GMing is a mess, but not thinking ahead at all. And not putting their foot down with their head coach at all. Yeah, Callahan left to go coach football with his son. His son got a head coaching job. So Callahan went to go coach with his son. Yeah, he's an offensive line coach or whatever. Some college. On division, I think it's Division 1, Division 2 school or something like that. Yeah. His son is now his boss. He got the hell out of Cleveland. I mean, Stefanski is winning 2-time Coach of the Year awards. I mean, the first year he won it was because, he kept the offense simple. We beat the Steelers in the playoffs. Sure, it was pretty much the passing game, the defense that did it, but I understand you're a run-first team. And the second time he won it was because of the defense. Jim Schwartz, his defense is That was out. That was an outstanding defense last year. I mean, it collapsed against the Texans because they realized that Newsome and Emerson can't cover deep. Neither can Newsome, but Newsome also cannot cover crossing routes to save his life. He gets caught up in traffic. The guy sucks. We saw that happen in the playoff game against the Texans. He was trailing behind Nico Collins a lot, and it was like in our heads, I'm like, who is Nico Collins? You know, we know who Tank Dell is. We hear his name all the time, but who is Nico Collins? Well, we found out, didn't we? He embarrassed us. We got thoroughly outcoached in that game. But he won the second Coach of the Year award with that. And it's like, you know, in all honesty, that second one, you didn't earn it. You didn't earn it. That should have been Schwartz's award. You should have shared that with him. Like, hey, if it wasn't for our coaching staff, especially Jim Schwartz, backbone of this defense, it's outstanding defense, they kept us in games all year long. Like, this award wouldn't be in my hands. You know, just be honest. Little humble pie. This team is a mess. Defense is out there making business decisions. The offense has no consistency, no cohesion whatsoever. These guys are playing beyond their skill levels. They're playing to their weaknesses, not their strengths. Unless they change the offensive scheme, it's going to be a shit show every game day. It'll be a shit show every day, every Sunday at 1:00. I'm telling you, the more he keeps going 5 wide and all that stuff, 3 and 5 wide, as long as he keep doing that, it's gonna be a shit show. It's gonna be a shit show on offense. All right, let me get out of here. I've talked long enough. Y'all take care, man. I feel sorry for us as Browns fans. I do. I really do. I really, really do.